In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection, Jedi Knight Revan and HK-47 2-pack. Hello Star Wars collectors and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection 2-pack of Jedi Knight Revan and HK-47 on the Galaxies of Heroes cards, which we will discuss in a minute. So here is the 2-pack. This is the third 2-pack we have now. The first one being the Ewoks 2-pack, and then the second one being the Obi-Wan with Vader 2-pack from the Obi-Wan series. And now we have this one. So let's take a look at the box very quickly. So you can just see there, we've got the Galaxy of Heroes logo at the top, which is the first time we've ever had that for a Vintage Collection card back. We have the Kenner logo at the bottom. Got the names of the figures there. Little thing there which just tells you the two cards that you're going to be getting in the pack, and then of course a picture of the actual toys that you're going to be getting inside, all the figures. Galaxies of Heroes, and on the side, as we've seen with these other 2 packs, you get a nice image of the figures on the side. So that's Revan, and then you've got the HK Droid on that side. Very, very Black Series-esque, that is indeed. And then on the back of the box, you've got the 2 carded figures that you're going to be getting inside. Jedi Knight Revan and HK-47 with the Vintage Collection logo. Apart from that, not really too much else going on with the box. As with the other two packs, these are packaged in exactly the same way. You slice the sellotape down there, open the side, and then you can slide the 2 figures out, and they're in like a cardboard insert with a bit of tissue paper separating the 2 figures to avoid any scratching of the bubbles and any sort of damage to the card backs and things like that. But there you go, that's the box. Let's open it up and take a look at the cards. Okay then, so here are the 2 card backs that are inside the box, and we have HK-47 on the left and Jedi Knight Revan on the right. The reason I've put them like that is because this one is VC305 and Revan is 306. Bit weird considering the 2-pack is Jedi Knight Revan and HK-47. You would think they would have like numbered them the other way around, but that's a very small detail that probably nobody cares about. Anyway, let's take a look at the card backs one by one. Let's take a look first of all at the HK-47 card back. Now that is actually a really nice card back of the droid there. Artist impression, of course, and the droid's looking pretty cool in the bubble there. Now, Galaxy of Heroes as the logo there. Now, this is like a app-based game on, iPads and phones and things like that. I think it's like a turn-based game. It's not really something that interests me or that I've played, and I'm led to believe that both of these characters are in the Knights of the Old Republic, which is a little bit strange considering that we've just got Darth Revan on a Knights of the Old Republic card back. So it's a little bit strange why they've gone for that. Not really too sure about that. As I say, it's not really something that interests me. But in terms of the figures themselves, they're decent figures. I know a lot of people have wanted this character in the Vintage Collection. He is a Builder Droid, and he's basically a repack from the Builder Droid figure that you got in the Legacy Collection. You had to buy a bunch of figures in a wave, and you got a piece of the figure, and you could build him. And he was actually quite rare. Some of the figures that have the pieces for this character are really, really tough to get hold of these days. So it is good that they've re-released this figure and it gives everybody an opportunity to get him. Moving on to the Jedi Knight Revan figure. Now, pretty much this is a repaint of the Darth Revan figure, and there he is on the card back there, looking pretty awesome. You've got the purple name pill and panel behind the figure, which is very similar to the Hera Syndulla figure that we just got. So that's another one using the purple. VC306, Jedi Knight Revan on the back there. So that's pretty cool as well. But enough about the card backs. We're going to be opening up the figures and we're going to be checking them out, and we're also going to be comparing them against previous releases, including the Jedi Knight Revan. Alright then, so here is Jedi Knight Revan out of the packaging. I've just got him in a pretty simple pose there just to show you what he looks like out of the packaging, and I will bring in Darth Revan in a second so you can compare them, but essentially that it is a pretty much straight repaint. This one is all dressed in white apart from his brown leather torso and his gauntlets and the little hand guards and everything, whereas of course the Darth Revan is in black. Also with this version, only one lightsaber is packed in, the purple version of course. With the Darth Revan, you get both the red and the purple, so you're getting a little bit more for your money with the Darth Revan there. And let's bring him in right now just so you can see them side by side, so you can check them out. And you can see that they are pretty much exactly the same. Darth Revan has a few more paint apps going on the chest, a bit more detail, whereas the Jedi Revan is more all one colour. Does have a bit of weathering on there and a few nice buttons and things like that going on. But they have the same belts and everything, the same tabard going down the centre of the figure, which is a soft vinyl plastic. Darth Revan soft goods are very tatty. They've got holes in them, including the cape, whereas the Jedi Revan has only got the skirt for a start, and it's in perfect condition. There is no holes or anything like that in it, and he doesn't have the cape. I will take the hard goods headgear off of the figures in a second so you can see the heads, but from my mind, I've got a feeling that they're going to be exactly the same. So we'll do that right now. And there you go. The head sculpts, of course, are exactly the same. I would say the Jedi Knight Revan is more of a gunmetal grey, whereas the Darth Revan is a straight black. But apart from that, they've got pretty much the same style paint apps on. You've got that ring going around the head. On Darth Revan, it's red. On the Jedi Revan, it's more of like a goldy colour. But the rest of the helmet is pretty much the same in terms of the paint apps anyway, with the silver and the red on the front there. Looking at the figure close up, you can see some of the nice sculpting work that's going on his chest. That really does look like a leather effect, and he has those little buttons painted on his shoulders. Just turn the figure around. You can see that belt going around. I do love the paint apps on the belt as well. Every single eyelet there on the belt is painted silver, and they've done a really, really good job with that. This piece here is soft vinyl plastic, and it goes all the way around to that front sort of tabard piece, which is a very, very soft piece of plastic. It has to be to enable the articulation of the legs. And if we just pull the skirt up, you will see the legs there. And once again, they're exactly the same as the previous figure. You've got that sort of Mandalorian style sort of shin guards. All in all, a really, really cool figure. I know a lot of people have been wanting this one, and it was inevitable that we were going to be getting this figure as soon as the Darth Revan was announced. At the end of the day, it's kind of followed the Black Series theme. They did exactly the same thing. They brought out Darth Revan, and then eventually they repainted him, and you got the Jedi Revan version. Just take the headgear off. It's very easy to do that, so you can just quickly see that sculpting. And in terms of articulation, he's got everything that you need. You've got the barbell on the neck, hinges at the shoulders, hinges at the elbows, hinges at the wrists. We've got the ball on the torso there. We've got the new style hips. We've got the knees, and we do have rocker ankles as well. So everything you're going to need. The lightsaber hilt is really cool. You do not get a unlit lightsaber hilt to attach to his belt, and there is nowhere to attach it onto his belt anyway. So that's that's not great really. That would have been a nice thing for them to do. And this being quite a thick lightsaber hilt with some extra detail on it, it does fit in his hands, but I would say that it doesn't fit into the hands as some of the other lightsabers with other figures, but it's still pretty good. Okay then, so next up we have the HK-47 Droid. This is a Builder Droid figure. Unfortunately, I do not have the previous version to compare him to, but what I do have is the HK-50 Droid, which is another Builder Droid figure that is available in the Legacy Collection, and essentially he's a straight repaint. So we'll just bring him in there, so you can just see them together. Exactly the same sculpt and everything. So this is a reuse of that mould and an updated paint apps for HK-47. And we'll just take a closer look at him right now. Okay then, so this is HK-47, nice and close up for you. So you can just see some of those paint apps on the head and on his body. So they have added some of those, you can see there as well. Just a little bit of sort of like silver markings on there, just to give him a bit of weathering. But as per usual with these TVC figures, they don't seem to want to do the back of the figure. They never seem to add paint apps onto the backs of these figures. They just think the front is enough. But I guess if he's in your sort of collection, standing there, then maybe you only look at him from the front anyway. But just to prove that he is a Builder Droid, he does come apart. So the head pops off, the arms pop off, the legs do the same. But he does have some articulation. Obviously, he's got swivel everything in terms of the shoulders and the hips. Let me just get that head back on. But he does have hinges at the elbows. You can see there. And he also has hinges at the knees. And he has hinges at the ankle as well. But of course, not rocker ankles. But, it would be nice if this figure was as good as like a K2SO, for example, where he could do the splits. But, these legs are just purely swivel. They are Builder Droid. But still, it's nice to have, these droids in the line. So not too much else to say about this figure really. He's like a reddy brown, rusty colour. Pretty cool. It's going to look good on the shelf. And this is a blaster that I do not have, I don't think, in my collection. I don't know if it's unique to the HK droids. But I got my HK-50 from Tungori. So I never actually got the blaster with him. So yeah, I'm not too sure if I've seen this blaster before. Let me know in the comment section below if this blaster comes with any other figures. But he holds it in his hand in a bit of a strange way. So if I just put it there, so you can have him sort of standing to attention like that, basically. So there you go. Alright then guys, so that is the Jedi Knight Revan and HK-47 2-pack for the Vintage Collection on those Galaxies of Heroes card backs. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if you're going to pick this up. Are you excited that Revan is finally in the line? And are you going to get both Jedi and Darth? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members as always. Your support means a great deal to me. So thank you so much, and we shall see you on the next one.